differences in the diversity of candidate pools, in organizational buy-in, and in legitimate dialogue. Folks around the globe are coming around to the realization that ID&E is not simply a U.S. fad. It is a philosophy, a strategic imperative, and a real need everywhere. But what we aren't seeing is the amount of impact we want, and certainly not at the pace of change we need. Despite all the books and programs out there, the turnover of Black and brown workers, the underemployment of people with disabilities, and the overall experience of other historically oppressed and marginalized people remain serious problems. Those are just a few examples. We have heard the cry. Leaders need real daily engagement practices that build a culture of belonging for every person. Over the course of our careers, we have demonstrated that doing ID&E can be inspirational and practical. It can touch a global audience of everyday ID&E practitioners and engineers who want to develop their soft skills and community activists who want to have an impact. Our experience has shown us that the synthesis of a heart-centered, developed wisdom, courageous leadership style, and the approach of using small but meaningful actions is the next definitive step for inclusive leadership to take hold. Ultimately, inclusion doesn't come from the HR department, that training course you took, or the chief diversity officer. If you're a leader, it starts with you. What you do every day and how you create the expectation for others to play a part. But we believe you don't need to and shouldn't do this work alone. Therefore, we also provide the guidance to influence your peers, inspire those who report to you, and enable the people who want to partner with you in this work. The beauty of our approach is that it doesn't just work for HR professionals or influential leaders in the C-suite. It works for anyone with an empathetic resolve to do better and a willingness to personally own their part. In Daily Practices of Inclusive Leaders, you'll find a globally relevant toolkit of actions and behaviors that actually build a culture of belonging. You'll find proven daily practices for lifting up and increasing the visibility of the historically overlooked, such as running inclusive meetings, developing effective mentoring, recruiting, and engagement programs, and doing myriad other activities that structure the rhythm of your business. Leading inclusively requires heart, courage, and a strong sense that everyone should have equitable access and the opportunity to thrive in their professional and personal lives. Here we leverage Deborah Myerson's work on how leaders inspire change at work from her influential book, Tempered Radicals: How Everyday Leaders Inspire Change at Work. Myerson uses two analogies that we will reference throughout our book. She equates small, impactful actions to dropping pebbles that cause ripples, which cause more pebbles to be dropped and result in more ripples. The aggregation of these pebbles, or small, impactful actions, leads to systemic and cultural change. Myerson also equates rocking the boat with the courage and heart needed to do what is right and not what is expected. Being a tempered radical means rocking the boat, but not so hard that you knock yourself and others out of the boat. You need to be in the boat to affect change. Like Myerson, we want leaders to understand that they don't have to create an enormous change all at once. Instead, we ask leaders to drop a pebble of change, one that causes a ripple, which in turn motivates someone else to drop a pebble that also causes a ripple, which in turn motivates someone else to drop a pebble, and so on. It is the aggregation of all those pebbles that leads to waves of systemic change. This is a big shift in how ID&E is practiced today, and a long overdue one. Breaking down the work into daily practices, what we call pebbles of inclusion, makes ID&E much more doable and sustainable for incredibly busy people, and it gets people excited. We've seen relief, excitement, and a new resolve in leaders when we've offered this framework during engagements and trainings. This approach to inclusive leadership has proven itself to be an